Hey guys, it's Victoria here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to cover a couple of pairs here. Hopefully I won't take too long with it, but we had some wonderful moves in the market. I mean, everything was just picture perfect, right? So just a quick recap. I don't know if I've done this in a while, but obviously I'm always trying to emphasize the pattern, the market maker pattern on how this cycle often completes picture perfect like this week in 3 days. Okay. And then 3 ADR. Okay. So ugly. And 3 pushes, whether the push is down or maybe the push is up. Okay. This usually happens in 3 days. We love it when it does it that way. On the 4th day, that's when you can expect a reversal in the market. So I just kind of want to show you guys. Right now, I am at the daily time frame with EN, and overall, the daily time frame it is at the low. However, it's still, to me, is dropping. I mean, we can see. Even with the TDI, it's bouncing off. It looks like it was still short, right? Right here is just a bit of a range, if you will. And then it's looking like it's bouncing off again, off of the market baseline. So it's still short, right? And then if you notice, we have some stop hunts right here. And then we had one there. So that's another indication. Oh, and here's a third stop hunt right there that happened yesterday. That, it's trying to trap the long holders, right? It's not ready to go long. Okay. So now I'm going to move down to H4 because usually, once I kind of look at the overall, what the day is doing, I go to H4 because this is where I want to execute my trades. Like this is where my bias will be from pretty much all the time, is from H4. So today, looking at the market, I mean, obviously it was short, right? So one of the things also that you could do, this was the day, this candle. So one of the things that you can do again to help you with knowing when the market is the trend is going to reverse. And I usually like to do this on H1. It's where I can see it clearly, but we're going to try and count the levels on the other time frames as well. So on last Friday, Monday, we were at the low, and then the new peak showed up right here, right? So I drew the ADR. Now you can do your ADR however you want, right? You can do the box just up like that if you want, or you can break it down. So right now we know the ADR is 437. Now this is just an average daily range. I don't think it's perfect all the time. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and change this to orange color that I'm using. And I'm going to break this one up. So the ADR is going to be 145. So that's 144. That's good. Put that right there. I know it's going to be hard to see, but there we go. And I'm going to build it right there. And the last one right here, so you can see it. Okay. So that's your 3 ADR, right? That's how it kind of gives you the guide on what you can expect for prices to come back down here and then reverse, because I believe the week is probably also long. Okay. So we saw that it's at the low, and it's also the point it's going to go long. All right. So let's get back to H1. All right. And take that off. So as you can see here, it didn't quite hit, the top of the ADR right there, but it was pretty darn close. It was probably a little over a half, right, of the ADR. Excuse me, guys. Getting up early, sacrifice. So another thing I want to talk about is what you can do. You can count the pushes. We've just talked about the 3 days, 3 ADR. Now you can just count your pushes. And you can just start from right here. This would be push 1. And then you can see, let me draw this. So we have this, 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 and this, right? So here is, of course, your W. It's hidden in there, right? But it's in there. And we have our first push here. We have our consolidation. This to me is the second push. Then we have another consolidation. And then this is the third push, right? That took us home, right? And then it reversed. And this was on Tuesday. Okay, so for the last couple of weeks there, the reversals was turnaround Tuesday. Okay, so then it reversed on Tuesday. And then, now we're in consolidation, right? This was actually the first ADR, as you can see that I had already drew it right there for this pair was right there. So that first push was there, and then we had our consolidation. Of course, it did on Wednesday, it did the reversal. Okay. Okay, and so now we have this push again. It's like the retest to the high. Let me clear all this. Okay. So today was the retest, guys, to the high, and it confirmed this new peak. I mean, we already knew we were short based off of this ADR already. And this is higher high, obviously, and this is higher low. Okay, so we're already in this new trend. So that's how you do it. I mean, that's how you kind of determine where you are. And it's very important before you trade, you're checking to see where you are in the cycle, how much ADR is left, and be able to decipher your trades from there. So from up there to about there, it's around 345, 390 ADR, if I'm doing that right. Okay. So it's around almost 400. Okay. So now I have drawn, and I went to H4, right? Because again, this is where I will take my bias from, and to also set my order block. And I set this here. This is the order block that I drew here. And I use that area right here as the last bear candle before the big push up. So that is how you do your order block. So now you're just waiting, right, for the next trading session. You already know it's the second leg M here. It's, officially a 2 peak formation for this one now, technically, because we had 2 days from the new peak. So that was the new peak. So now it's the second day. So, I'm looking for prices to break this area, and then I will take the entry from here to here. Okay. That will be my trade. And it's right here at the psychological. Okay. It's about 120 some odd pips. So that's not bad. All right. So let's take a look at one more. So here's EA. It's today it was the new peak as well. And looking at, I started at H4, so let's hop on to the daily. If you look at the overall, again, it is short. This order block here, this is automatically drawn there. And then you can see, the stop hunt here, these two right here. It's kind of indicating it's still short, right? You can see price was still, RSI was still underneath the yellow baseline. It looks like here we're going to get a bounce off of it, right? So the daily was short. So we go to H4, and it was also short. Okay. And you're probably wondering, oh, that's a inverted head and shoulders. Absolutely. But here it was really clear on H4 that we had our 3 pushes, right? And I identified those as well. So we had our first push, 1, 2, and then 3. Okay. And then we got our reversal. Again, it didn't quite hit, the ADR up there, which is fine, but we still got our 3 pushes. Okay. And again, this is just a guide. It's never going to be absolutely perfect, but what I can say that was perfect was the 3 days and the 3 pushes, right? 3 ADR, it was more like 2 and a half, a little over a half with the ADR. Okay, so I'm dropping down to H4. Oh, sorry, H1. That's what I wanted to say. And so right here, you can see even clearer where I marked the 3 pushes. Okay, and you can see the ADR up here. It didn't quite hit it. So I'm going to go ahead and get prepared for my ADR for going short. So let me go ahead and copy this. Again, our ADR is 474, 1 ADR is 158. So let's go ahead and do the darn thing here, okay? Now, of course, I have indicators that do the ADR for me with the GCash indicator, the dashboard, but you guys need to know how to do this manually, okay? There we go. I'm changing the color because I'm looking at so many charts. I want to be able to quickly know that, okay, this is short. Oops. Okay, 127, 58. That's good enough. Okay, so we're going to come up here. And right here. And I took this trade yesterday long on this last push because I was waiting for it. And as you can see, it's a beautiful W. Let me not get ahead of myself. And then put this down here. So when I came back to the market this morning around 3 a.m., I went ahead and went short. Okay. So let me go back to H4. I have this here. Because originally that was, my bias. It was to go long yesterday and I hadn't changed it yet. So I was just waiting for it to break. So on H4, I mean, I could still use this, right? I can still use this line here, just like I on EN, right? Totally still use it. Just change the color. I mean, this is all personal preference. You don't have to do any of this if you don't want to. This is just my personal preference. So now I'm just going to wait for, I'm pretty sure Friday, next trading session, this thing is going to be waiting for me, right? So I'm just going to move that over. Just line that right there. Nothing special. Go back to the H4 order block. I wasn't really even paying attention to where I was putting this thing. But if I do follow the rules, obviously this would be it, right? This candle right here would be where I would need to put that. And I think it's going to line up with the one that's already automatically there. Close. But yeah, so now we want this to kind of retest the order block and then to come back down. Okay, so anywhere around here, and of course this price point, and I would take it to the ADR low, which is right here on the psychological, which I really like to use that as my targets as well. It works out really, really nice. So one more EU, because EU did the same thing, y'all. It did the same thing. Okay, so we're looking at the daily with EU. Obviously, this thing is at the low. However, you know, it did its thing too, 3 pushes, and now it's reversing. So let's go to H4 to get our bias. Okay, so if you weren't paying attention to this, if this is your pair, then you would have known, right? You would have totally known that when you came to the market today, that you had this reversal appear and you were going short, right? That was your bias, right? So let's go down to H1 so you can clearly see how I mark the pushes, and I'll go back and explain why I have all these lines, right? It's pretty similar to what you've already seen. So Sunday, Monday, you know, it was ranging a bit. And then we finally, and of course, this was the W. Okay. I'm going to count that as the push one there. And this is a little janky, right? This little channel right here. This could be 2. And then that final one is 3. Because you had this. When you have these big, let me clear this real quick. When you have these levels of consolidation, you can count those too. Because remember the cycle, right? This is your V1 and your V2, because that's just what it kind of looks like, right? And that works too. If you want to count your levels of consolidation to do it, you can, or you can just do the pushes, which is the 1. And then these kind of ran together to me, right? And then finally it cleared there. Sorry, this is not that as pretty as I wanted it to be. So now we are going short, right? And I've already marked this as the new peak. And I have already marked the, now I didn't take this trade because obviously I was asleep at this time. It went short pretty quick right there, and I'm not available at that time. So I didn't get in New York because they gave us 2 railroad tracks as well. You could have totally rode that thing again, but I didn't get back in there. So now I'm just going to wait for the next opportunity. It's going to, obviously it's going to pull back a little bit and then come back down, right? So once it does that, then obviously the next opportunity, I believe, would be a good trade around this area and then taking it to right around here, right? Because we know that sometimes these ADRs don't completely give it to you perfectly. Sometimes they do, I'm not going to lie, but then, you know, you want to manage your trade, all that stuff. So that's all you do. Let's see if I can get a good gauge on this. Yep, that was 212 pips. ADR was 231. So yeah, that's how you do it, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here, and I hope this you got some value. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you haven't gotten the journal, get it, because you'll get these, you know, some of these indicators that you're seeing on here. I do give away for free, and then the peaks and the reversals and whatnot, those come with the journal. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.